All right, Qualcomm Nation, aging parents. This is what we're talking about because I have had so many people approach me in the last little while here, struggling with their parents, saying they're in this funny area where they have their young families, but they're also having those aging parents where they're seeing dementia, mobility issues, disposition issues, as in where are they going to live, where are they going to, how are we going to be able to take care of them? They're experiencing more falls, they're losing weight, and I gotta tell you, I wanted to come on to say, like, if my parents were still with me, how would I would approach things? How would I approach things if I knew I was having that aging parent, and do everything I can to mitigate their risk of becoming frail, losing their independence, keeping them sound of mind. And honestly, the framework is simple. It's very similar to many of the things that we talked about. And the first thing we'll talk about is the nutrition side. As we see people age, their appetites go down. They become more frail. They'll lose their lean muscle mass. So, as you could imagine, my emphasis is on protein intake. How do we guarantee our parents, our grandparents get enough protein intake during the day? And sometimes it's about choosing foods that really appeal to them. If it's, for example, on the ethnic side, my parents were Ghanaian. They had a lot of rice dishes that have a little bit of protein in it. I always say just double up the protein in the rice dish, jollof rice. Those that know what I'm talking about, Ghanaians and Nigerians. Add double the chicken that's involved there, and that will go a long way. In terms of supplement, you'll see people give Boost, which is better than nothing, but in my opinion, tons of sugar, highly processed. I'm a big fan of just throwing some protein powder in the mix. And one of my good friends, Gianni and Jen, I think it's their like almost like a grandmother, or sorry, like a grand aunt, if that's a thing. She did this amazing recipe where she takes orange juice and puts vanilla protein, vanilla protein in that bad boy. Tastes like a creamsicle, guaranteeing grandma's getting close to 30 grams of protein just from that. And it's just setting you in the right direction. Because as we talked about with protein, you want to maintain that lean muscle mass. You want to have better control of your blood sugar. You want to be less likely to grab crappy foods, crappy processed foods. Like, to me, this is a real nice lever in terms of making sure your family members are getting enough nutrients. I would, in fact, even add some creatine in there. Like, maybe I don't know how well it's been evaluated in our senior population, but to me, maintaining that lean muscle mass is so important, because what we see people die of as they age is frailty. It's weakness. Like I said many times on our show, when people die in the ICU, it's not usually because the machines ain't working. It's because they have become so frail that their quality of life is compromised. They're not going to be that same person. So before we get to that point with our elderly population, with our parents or grandparents, let's do everything we can to prevent that. So focusing on protein, focusing on muscle, maintaining muscle mass. So using that creatine as an example. Vitamin D, everybody should be on vitamin D. You want to make sure that their bones are intact. You want to make sure that their immunity is on point. That's another one where I would definitely consider supplementation. All right, so in terms of, that's nutrition. Then there's the movement side, and this is tricky as we age. When people get their joints are compromised, they're not as comfortable with mobility. But this is something where I think you work with what's in front of you. This could be doing air squats. This could be doing push-ups on your knees. But some form of resistance training would be amazing. And I think we just got to normalize it, folks. And these trends got to start earlier. You know, when we got postmenopausal women with their osteoporosis and their and the loss of their lean muscle. This is so important. I think creating that healthy habit earlier on is the ticket, but it's never too late. We see those videos of 90-year-olds pushing more weight than I do. But if you don't have access, if you feel like your loved one, there's no way they're going to get to the gym or work out from home, to me, it's getting their steps up, step count, get them outside and moving. And being in Ottawa and in Canada, it's not always easy to get them outside, but get their step counts up, whether they're on a walker or not, getting them moving, getting that stimulating more of their muscles. It's going to improve their cognition. It's going to improve their strength. It's going to improve their sleep, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But we have to be very proactive in this setting. It can't just be wait for a bad thing to happen. In my mind, be proactive with our parents and grandparents. Get them moving, because the other side of that is not pretty. Third thing I will say is in terms of stress management, or specifically sleep. I really want to focus on sleep. It becomes more challenging as we age. But to me, this is probably something that as we age, arguably becomes more and more important. The ability to stay active during the day is going to help with sleep pressure. And so I think for our parents and grandparents, staying active during the day is what we were talking about, really important. Not eating too close to bedtime so they get that enhanced sleep. If we need supplementation, to me, magnesium is the way to go. Magnesium glycinate, very little downside. Maybe some GI upset if you take too much, but reducing that overall stress response, feeling more calm, allowing for enhanced sleep. Because if they're more well rested, appetite is better. They're more active during the day. Mood is better. Because I think sometimes too, which with the fourth topic we're going to talk about, connection. If you're not, if your mood is down, if all this is going to decelerate. And we saw that during the pandemic with all the loneliness and inability to connect, and how we saw a significant decrease in quality of life and longevity of some of our elderly population. So I think really putting that emphasis on how grandma, mom, grandpa is going to sleep, I think is super important. And the last part I'll say is about creating that connection. And that could be through exercise, which I think is a nice way to kill two birds with one stone. Are you going to be part of an exercise group, aqua aerobics? I don't care what it is. It's so important to have that connection, that psychological aspect where you feel purpose and feel like you're part of something. And so that could be through family, making sure you're getting out to see grandma, grandpa enough, clubs, whether that's bocce, whether that's card games, whatever it is that they feel connected at the time is really important. And so how to foster that, you could be creative, but to me, this and the other part of that is like enhances their mood. You don't want them to be down and out. So these are the aspects for me. If my parents were still around, what I would kind of focus on to try and get them the best health span, not just lifespan, but health span, being healthy during the latter half of their life or latter third of their life. So once again, on the nutrition side, focus on protein, focus on keeping that lean muscle so that they avoid frailty, get them moving. My bias is on resistance training of some sort, but honestly, if they're not interested in that, any form of movement, walking more, if it's a sport, if it's swimming, I don't care, but get them moving. For sleep is vital in terms of maintaining cognition, being sharper during the day, trying to be more energetic so you avoid those falls, better appetite, better mood, more willingness to try things. So getting that sleep on point. And lastly, making sure that they're feeling connected, feel that purpose, that there's their value. And that could be in terms of cooking together, working out together, exercising together, um, whatever works. To me, this is such an important message. All right. So let me know what your thoughts are on aging population and your parents and grandparents. If you have any questions, reach out quadcast99@gmail.com or just leave them in the comment section. And once again, when it comes to prevention over prescription, we need to be proactive with our health, and that includes the health of our parents and our grandparents. And I'm hoping this serves as a bit of an inspiration to be proactive. All right, folks. Peace.